What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey, and I just wanted to come to drop off this training for you real quick. Been having a conversation with several clients over the past week or so. Been the same conversation over and over again, and it kind of ties into something that we're going to be doing here in the group real soon. But I wanted to kind of illustrate, and so in this video I'm going to talk about why time management isn't your biggest issue. I hear this struggle over and over again from a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners. They're just talking about the fact that they are struggling with time management, and they feel like they just need to be better organized, to have better tools and strategies and tactics so they can be more productive, to get more done. They feel like they're wasting a lot of time. They're not getting the revenue that they want to get. They're not just achieving the things they want to achieve and these goals that they're setting, and so they are feeling really stressed about not having the good enough time management. And so in this video, I'm going to break down why that's not your biggest issue, right? And the reason why this is important is because we all have a certain amount of time, right? We have limited resources in terms of time or money or energy or whatever. And if you are not making the most of it, if you're not maximizing it, then what are you doing? Right, you're wasting it. You are running low on resources. You eventually are going to burn out or exhaust those things. And so, if you want to be able to expand your capacity and to be able to raise the ceiling for your revenue, to be able to scale your business, whatever the case may be, right? The challenge that you're going to have is that you've got to figure out how to optimize for your time, right? And so, the biggest issue that I see people coming up against is that they're trying to figure out, where to allocate. They're writing lists. They are using different software and apps and things like that to be able to be more productive, etc. But here's a real issue. The real issue is that it's not about time management. The reason why, if you look at your schedule and you see so many different things, you feel like you're struggling to get things done to really accomplish your goals or whatever, the thing that is really keeping you back is not the time, right? People say, I just never have enough time for this. I never have enough time to get all the things that I need to get done. The real problem is not your time. The real problem, the real issue is one that is lurking underneath the surface, one that we really are almost sometimes afraid to address. And it's simply this: we actually don't know what to focus on. Because here's the thing, if you knew what to focus on, and sometimes you feel like you do, well, I know I need to get these things done, there's just not enough time to do it. But here's the thing, if you knew that there was one thing that you could do, right? And so it's funny because Gresleen Jean and I were talking about this in the group, in the chat or whatever, and she was talking about how the book The One Thing transformed her life, and I was saying the same thing. And it's because the principle of the one thing is really centered in this focusing question, which simply says, what is the one thing you can do that by doing that one thing makes everything else either easier or unnecessary? And I swear by this in every aspect of my life, whether it's marriage, whether it's parenting, whether it's my personal health, whether it's my business, whatever the case may be. I swear by using that question as a way to whittle things down, to sculpt away the things that don't matter, right? And that's really the key. The key is, if you have a process, if you have a filter for being able to decipher the things that matter most versus those that don't, right? Because if you think that everything matters equally and everything on your list is there, then the issue really is that, hey, Debbie, how you doing? Yeah, well, you're just in time to catch this. But as we're talking about those things that we have on our lists, right, the goals that we have, etc., very often what happens is that we are simply not clear, not focused on exactly the things that we need to do to move our business forward. I ask this question in the group every week, every Monday, and not always do people engage with it. But if you're asking yourself that question consistently every week, consistently every day, then it should be clear to you what your time needs to be focused on, right? For one thing, all time is not equal, right? So you never have as much energy or as focus as you do in the beginning of the day as you do at the end of the day, right? So it's kind of like your cell phone, right? Your cell phone, when you take it off of a charger in the morning, it's fully charged. But if you never recharge it, it's going to gradually lose power as you use it throughout the day. And the same thing is true for our focus, for our willpower, for our energy, and well, even time itself, right? Because the more you go throughout the day, the less time you have, and it gets more compressed. And so what we have to do is we have to recognize that if time is a limited resource, what do we have to do with it? We have to make the most of it by doing the things that matter most and not the things that matter least. So imagine that you have a task that's going to make you $1 million and a task that's going to make you $100, right? Which one would you focus on first, right? And then which one would be the easiest to eliminate? Well, obviously it would be the $100 task. But how many of us are doing thousands of $100 tasks trying to get to $1 million, right? We're trying to do, what is that? 100,000 times 100 is a million? No, something like that. No, 10 times 100 is a million. So let's say you're doing all those needless, those small, tiny tasks, right? And we believe that those things all equal up to being productive, being successful, etc. in their business. In reality, those things don't. There are a few things that you do that are going to have the most impact. The problem is that when we can't decipher what those things are, when we don't know what's going to move the needle, like you said, Debbie, needle movers, when we don't know what those needle movers are, then we get overwhelmed because we feel the weight of all the different activities. But it's not about quantity of activity that equals productivity. It's about the quality of activity. It's about the quality of the decisions that you're making. If you don't have a process or a filter whereby you can make those decisions more decisively, more clearly, and know that the actions that you're taking are impactful, then you are going to struggle. And so time management is simply part of the process that was the excuse that we give for not being clear, not being focused enough, not having a greater understanding of what we really need to focus on. And so what we have is a lot of people that have a lot of noise that are telling us all these things that we have to do, right? You got to have a funnel. You got to have more marketing. You need to have more content. You got to be posting, 10 times a day on Instagram and 5 times a day on Facebook. And you got to have TikTok, and you got to be on LinkedIn. And you got to be all these different things. And you got to be hiring your team. And you got to be focusing on sales. And you got to be focused on marketing. And so in all of those categories, you have multiple things you have to do. And so people are overwhelmed with all of that, and you don't know the one thing or one or two things that are going to move the needle for you. So if you don't understand what those challenges are, if you're not clear, if you're not focused on that, then if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there, right? So what we have to be clear on is, what is our destination? What are we out to accomplish? What is the outcome that we are optimizing for? Why do I need my time to be focused on certain tasks? And if you know this, then it's going to allow you to be much more productive and successful. And you're going to be far less overwhelmed, right? You're going to be focused on the things that energize you, that allow you to step into your zone of genius. And it's going to allow you to understand exactly where you need to be at any given moment, right? I'm going to talk more about this in the upcoming live class that I have coming. If you're watching this today, it'll be tomorrow, which is a Friday, February the 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're watching this now live, I'm hoping that you'll be able to make it. If you're watching this on the replay today, Thursday, the 24th of February, then I hope that you'll be able to take that. But if not, I hope that you'll catch the replay. I'm really going to be breaking down some exciting things. And I haven't even told you what the training is. So we're going to be breaking down the 10 hidden reasons why people don't crush their goals that no one is talking about, right? So we have a lot of people that are telling you all the different strategies and tactics, things you need to do to be able to level up your business and to hit your goals, etc. But there are certain things that are actually holding us back. And if we don't know what those things are, we don't know what the barriers are between us and things that we need to hit our goals, then how are we going to actually hit the target, right? It's as if you were aiming an arrow at a bullseye, but there's a wall in the way, right? Or a plate of glass. And a lot of times for us, it's invisible, so we can't see that barrier is there. And we keep trying to strike that target, and we keep banging up against these other things. And no one's really talking about this. I haven't seen many people talking about this at all, if at all. So drop a comment, let me know what your thoughts are, maybe some of the ways that you have gotten clear, or you're kind of still struggling to hit your goals and to get clear on how you can manage your time better. But understand, it's not your time, it's your focus. It's the clarity that you have on the things you need to do to get you where you need to go. If you're having challenges with your business and you want some more clarity, feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, drop a comment below. I'd love to learn more about what you're up to and how we may be able to help you to supercharge your business, turn that into a juggernaut, and let's create the real impact and freedom that we desired to when we first started, right? I'm Frederick Douglass Bussey, as always, ever forward.